From a distance, gas giants look beautiful. They seem like peaceful marbles floating in the dark, but that picture is a lie. These aren't just planets, they are giant floating traps. If you tried to step onto the surface, you wouldn't land. You would just start falling, and you would never stop. You would drop forever into a nightmare of endless storms. Winds here reach over 350 miles per hour. These are the most terrifying weather systems in the universe, but why are they so violent? To answer that, we first need to understand how they formed. Everything started billions of years ago. The solar system was a graveyard of ice and rock. In the middle of that chaos, something was growing. Something hungry. A massive gravitational force was gathering mass, building a world not from slow growth, but from consumption. Jupiter wasn't born like Earth. Instead of waiting for dust to settle, the young giant began to feed. It used its massive gravity like a vacuum, sucking in everything it could touch. Dust, gas, and rocks were just the beginning. Then, things got dark. NASA's Juno mission recently found something dark hidden deep inside the planet's core. The data shows that Jupiter didn't just grow, it committed a massacre. Baby planets just starting to form were pulled into the dark and eaten alive. Jupiter grew into a titan, built entirely from stolen pieces. But all that violent energy didn't just vanish. It stayed. It turned the inside of the planet into a pressurized furnace that never cools down. This heat is the heart of the monster. It's the engine behind the screams and the violence we see on the surface. But this is where the real nightmare begins. That nightmare starts with the wind. On Earth, we have mountains and continents. They act like speed bumps, slowing down storms and breaking the wind's power. Gas giants have none of that. There are no mountains, no landmasses, nothing to cause friction. The atmosphere has no brakes. Storms just keep building, faster and faster, forever. They grow into monsters like the Great Red Spot. This is a hurricane twice the size of Earth that has been screaming for hundreds of years. It's a storm that eats other storms just to stay alive. Inside this chaos, the wind reaches over 350 miles per hour. It's a force that would rip a skyscraper off its foundation in a split second. But even a storm that big is only a surface problem. The air itself is a weapon. It's a thick, choking mix of ammonia and ice that gets heavier the deeper you go. As you fall through those clouds, the light starts to vanish. The wind becomes a deafening roar, and then, something even scarier happens. The air stops acting like air. As you fall deeper, the darkness becomes absolute. The pressure is no longer just a weight. It acts like a hammer, squeezing your ship with the force of 1,000 oceans pressing from every side. The air around you begins to change. It's a thick, hot soup where the line between gas and liquid simply disappears. You aren't falling through a cloud anymore. You are sinking into a nightmare. Then, physics starts to break. The weight of the atmosphere above you becomes so intense it does something impossible. It crushes hydrogen gas into a liquid metal. This glowing, boiling ocean is a substance so strange we can barely recreate it on Earth. The heat there is more intense than the surface of the sun. It fuels a hellish liquid fire that does more than just crush you. Everything you are would vaporize in seconds. Even a diamond wouldn't survive here. In this place, physics has no mercy. You wouldn't just be destroyed. You would be erased. But this ocean of liquid metal does more than just melt everything it touches. Constant, violent spinning turns the entire planet into a massive engine. And as this liquid fire rotates, it generates a force that reaches far beyond the clouds. That spinning ocean of liquid metal creates something terrifying. It generates a magnetic field so massive it could swallow the sun. It is a silent, invisible force field that reaches out for millions of miles. But don't be fooled. It's not a shield, it's a weapon. This field traps subatomic particles and whips them around at nearly the speed of light. Even before you hit the clouds, the planet is already killing you. Spacecraft have to be built like tanks just to survive the approach. For any living thing, this isn't just a danger zone, it's a dead zone. Nothing escapes the grip of these giants. Gas giants are not just beautiful marbles. They are violent, pressurized furnaces. They are worlds of screaming winds, crushing depths, and invisible fire. There is no ground to stand on and no air to breathe, but we need them. Without their massive gravity, the solar system would be a shooting gallery. They act like giant shields, sucking in dangerous asteroids and comets that might otherwise head for Earth. The harsh reality is that gas giants are monsters. They are unpredictable, chaotic, and deadly. But in the vast darkness of space, we are lucky they are on our side.